What's beauty? A Polaroid, very aesthetic. The clouds, beauty. Vintage photos with modern graphics, splendid. You don't need to study art to tell that this is beautiful. You don't need to study architecture to tell that this is beautiful. You don't need to study poetry to tell that this is beautiful. You didn't need to study aesthetics to tell that she was beautiful. But what's beauty? I can't really put it in words. This Polaroid makes me feel good, and that good feeling is what makes me think of it as beautiful. But what's beauty? In everything I do, I want to live life. Not speaking as a hippie, I just literally have this inner drive that wants me to not die. You do too, so does your mom. Thank our ancestors for this will to live. I eat food because my brain doesn't want to die. I work hard because my brain doesn't want to die. I love people because my brain doesn't want to die. If everything I do is in the service of this will to live, why do I want to look at this Polaroid? I don't feel my will to live driving my urge to look at this Polaroid. I don't feel anything driving my urge to look at this Polaroid. How does looking at this Polaroid even help me stay alive? But what's beauty, and why do I want to see beauty? Nerds from 17th century tried very hard to find rigid rules for beauty, and they wanted aesthetics to be completely rational, but you know better. You don't need logic to tell you that mountains are beautiful. You don't need logic to tell you that these are hypnotizing. You look at her and she's immediately beautiful. She sings a song for you, it is immediately the best sound you've ever heard. You don't calculate how aesthetic she looks, you don't need to. You formed an opinion before your brain even knew what was happening. When she's with you, sunsets seem better. When she's with you, music sounds better. When she's with you, you don't even think about the Polaroid anymore. It's just hidden away in some corner of your shelves. And then she leaves. She didn't feel it anymore and didn't want to drag you on. You're heartbroken. Nothing makes sense. You don't know what you're doing anymore. But what's beauty? What's taste? And why didn't her taste like you? But what's beauty and why aren't you beautiful? But what's beauty, and even with that burning hole in your heart that she left you and that heavy anxiety in your stomach that she left you, why is this Polaroid still aesthetic? Who is this guy? I'm so glad you asked. This is Arthur Schopenhauer, a German philosopher with a lot to say about aesthetics, the part of philosophy which deals with our question of what's beauty. When you met her for the first time, before she tore your heart to shreds, you didn't need to judge her beauty rationally. You could experience that she looked like 1,000 shining suns. So in other words, aesthetic experience came well before aesthetic judgment. Very well, Schopenhauer believed so too. Thinking critically about how a piece of music makes me feel requires translating musically aroused feelings into words, which is practically impossible. In aesthetic experience alone do we face beauty in all its glory. When you heard her sing for the first time, before she tore your heart to shreds, you weren't concerned with struggling to live. It felt as if everything was alright. For a few fleeting seconds, the constant anxiety about death was gone. Very well, says Schopenhauer, agreeing with you again. Aesthetic experiences are pure. Pure in the sense that for the few seconds that you stand in awe of Michelangelo's David, you aren't bound to your will to live. So some dead German agrees with us. That isn't inherently a good thing. But what's beauty? What stimulates our senses? She did. Remember her? She stimulated your aesthetic senses. You weren't scared of her. You weren't scared when you were around her. You looked at her without worrying about death. You experienced her beauty without being self-aware. Everything was alright. Before she tore your heart to shreds, Schopenhauer would call this the beautiful. When we experience the beautiful, for a very short period of time, we are free from this human burden of being self-aware. What else stimulates our aesthetic senses? Ever seen a violent storm or a night sky full of bright stars? The violent storm will kill you if you move an inch closer to her. The starry sky is vast enough to remind you that you mean nothing. Both of these are dangerous, yet both of these are amazing to look at. They heighten our fear of death, they heighten our will to live, but still we violently pull ourselves away from this grip of fear just to experience beauty. We make paintings of the sea in all her destructive glory, and we write cheesy songs about skies full of stars. Schopenhauer called these the sublime. When we experience the sublime, we become more self-conscious than usual, but then we overcome those fears just to experience the aesthetics of it. The human condition is tragic. We might have escaped the tyranny of gods and of British people, but we have always been and will forever be bound to the chains of self-awareness. The self-awareness that helped our ancestors stay alive but now kills all of us every single day. The self-awareness that you will die soon, and soon after that your name will be spoken for the last time. The self-awareness that the universe is too large for humanity to matter, and that humanity itself is too large for you to matter. But what's beauty? It is humanity's rebellion against the harsh tyranny of self-awareness. It is what allows the courageous act of experiencing life as it is. It is what allows the courageous act of falling in love, of building railways, of reading poetry, of writing code. Sure, we will all die soon and no one will remember us, but while we are alive, we will experience the beautiful. We will take photos of clouds and play with stupid little kids, and we will look at beautiful people and let them break our hearts. Sure, we will all die soon and no one will remember us, but while we are alive, we will experience the sublime. We will hike up a mountain and let our fear of falling make way for the experience of freedom. We will look at the night sky and we will miss our grandfathers, and we will have a sad, splendid, aesthetic time of it. Why is this Polaroid beautiful? Because for a very brief moment of my life, I can look at this Polaroid and overcome the fact that I will die soon.